Okay, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic, less known classics. This episode number 2148, Doubleshot number 2042. I had to go with my phone to get my episode count number for this one because my Chrome was not working properly. So this episode was discussing a Batman trade plus a character who I've technically talked once before. Well, I said we do for two versions of this group, but not the original version of the group. First up, we have is Batman, the Undead. Collecting issues from Batman Confidential issues 44 to 48. Yes, for some reason, despite the fact this book series usually is set, presumably with just at the year 4 of Batman, Bruce Wayne being Batman, this book decided this particular storyline has nothing to do with that. It's mostly a follow-up to the Batman, Superman versus werewolves and vampires. Yeah, and this book basically is just the sequel to that story. Except they included zombies now. Yes, frickin' zombies. And we also have Superman still appearing in the book. Him doing his famous catchphrase, "This is a job for Superman." Pulls the shirt open, reveals Superman shirt. Now you might be curious though, aside from Batman and Superman, is there any familiar character? I think last book had Nightwing make guest appearance. This book, aside from those two, I think we have appearance here by Swamp Thing. No, wait, we have appearance here by, get this, Dr. Fate. Yes, Dr. Fate. Anything, of course, because it's magical race. Of course, he appeared in here. Yep. It's a okay story, nonetheless. Batman briefly turned supposedly into a zombie with his eyes and his mouth gets sewn shut. Yes, seriously. It's an okay story, but the best thing about this book is the artwork by Tom Mandrake. Yeah. Yeah, and also, this I have this thing sewn on his face. Next page, he's perfectly fine. Yeah. So, Kevin Hook is definitely a good writer, but this book, the story is just okay at best. The best thing about this book is the artwork. I mean, aside from the few noteworthy characters, there's nothing all that interesting about the story. It's just an okay story nonetheless. Good book, an 8 out of 10. Next up is something really awesome. We have Blackhawk, Blood and Iron. Now, this book in particular is quite interesting to say the least, because here's the thing. The stuff collected in this hardcover too, originally this was $50. I got this book for like $12 at Ollie's. Yes. This book collects Blackhawk, Volume 2, the entire 3-issue miniseries by Howard Schenken. Yeah, second volume of the series. Excuse me. Also collects, get this, Secret Origins 45, which, by the way, fun fact, book in 5 issues later, along with Action Comics Weekly issues 601, 608, 615, 622, and 628 to 635. Yeah. Now, interesting fun fact about this book, that nothing in this book, prior to this trade being released, had ever been collected before. Nothing had. This is the first time. And I've been thinking, this is a brilliant idea to collect this stuff. It's all complete one story. Now, Howard Schenken does the main mini-series per se. Now, you might think he does do the Secret Files book, the Secret Origins book, or does he do the Action Comics Weekly stuff? Well, no. Now, here's the other writers you have. You also have Mike Grell, Mike Verdin, and Martin Prieto. Of course, like I mentioned, Howard Schenken does the artwork for the third volume of, Blackhawk. Yeah, the entire third volume, second volume, excuse me. Yep. Which is, after all, now, apparently this book is kind of set during, early 1941. Yeah, these are basically, in a way, post-crisis stories for the Blackhawks. Now, this is Secret Files 45, which The main story is Blackhawk. The backup story is New El Diablo. This is not Martin Priso. He does the writing for this issue. You have Martin Priso. It says based upon part material by Will Eisner and Howard Schenken. Yep. And I don't think... So basically the layouts are by Grant Meadham and our finished art by Terry Beatty. Yeah, it's mostly put basically kind of the post-crisis origin story for Blackhawk himself. And that would lead into Action Comics Weekly. Now, you're probably a little curious, though, about the whole title, Action Comics Weekly. 1, why was it called this? 2, why was Action Comics Weekly? I'm not really sure exactly why this happened. I've never spoken to anybody who worked on this run, worked in this era. Well, I do know this. How long did it last for? It started with issue 601, and it wrapped up with issue 642. That's what it wrapped up with, because 643, which basically decided to have a homage to Superman #1, released in 1940. Now, Action Comics Weekly had these various titles in it. Superman himself was featured in this book throughout this whole run, but only for 2 pages. No, seriously, 2 pages of his own book. Yeah, you have people like, mainly the main person who was in all of these books as the main starring feature for Action Comics Weekly was Green Lantern. Yep, we also have features for not only him, but also Nightwing, Red Arrow. Well, actually, at that point, I think it was almost Arsenal or Speedy. We also had stuff for Black Canary. You might think did Green Arrow have features in this book? Shockingly, no, Green Arrow did not. Black Canary had a few issues to herself in this book. I'm trying to think. Blackhawk had the most one of the long attention features in this book. Now, this is only I think the 3rd time that stuff from this run has been collected. Because you might be curious though, had these Superman issues been collected in trade, the issues of this run featuring Superman Weekly in Action Weekly, yes, all that's in one trade. Yes, all 42 issues is on one trade. Why? Because only 2 pages. The only ones in trade are the Nightwing run and the stuff for Catwoman. And I think that's it. Because I don't think, as far as I can tell, I don't think the Green Lantern stuff is in trade. No, not that I can think of. So apparently only about 4 so far. But this is the first time viewing. Now, mostly put for these issues, in the case of the Action Weekly, this is basically post-World War II. Yep, also the stuff for, almost forgot to mention, Dead Man and Wild Dog. This actually is a cover through issue 603. And pretty much the issues are pretty much in the way what the Blackhawks were up to once World War II wrapped up. Yep, that is simply put exactly what the book basically did. Was explain their adventures they did post this stuff. It was like a lot of wild stuff for the late 40s, early 50s. Mike Groh wrote these stories. I love his writing here. A lot of good, basically, adventure stories you would see for Indiana Jones. That's simply what Mike Groh did with the Blackhawks, which is Blackhawk Squadrons, which I thought was a really cool idea. Funny enough, you might be curious though. Does Blackhawk Island does it feature these issues? No, it doesn't. But this book is really, really good. If I get a chance to meet Howard Schenken again, I'm going to bring this from the side because this book was great. I loved everything about this book. I love stuff related to World War II. For example, Rocketeer. Any kind of pulp era type of stuff, I'm a big fan of. And this stuff is awesome. I give this book a 10 out of 10 because it's that damn good. Nothing bad about these issues. They're all really good. Plus, gotta love the art here by Howard Schenken. Yep. Yeah, and yeah, who would have thought though that I found a book that's $50 and I get it for $12? Yeah, it's well worth it. Now, you might be curious though. Excuse me. Why did the feature end at 6:35? Well, The reason is because they got an ongoing series. Yep, they did. They got an ongoing series. That lasted for 16 issues. No, seriously. 16 issues for the Blackhawks. I don't really know why. It's one of the most strangest things that I can think of. Yeah, I don't know exactly why in the world this was. But yeah, not much else to say about these two trades. I'd say get the Blackhawk Blood and Iron book because it's awesome. And plus, it's Howard frickin' Schenken. How can you not pass up on this guy's amazing writing and artwork? Like, as soon as I saw this book at Ollie's, I'm like, you're coming with me because I love this stuff. It's so freaking good. Yeah. It's awesome. Yep, so yeah, that's pretty much it for particular view. Next up is going to be Baruto, and then our Comic Corner, okay? Next video. Bye.